Hey, everybody. Great to be with you today. Charles Cook, Zach New. Jesse should be joining us here in a second. Greg is off at the same conference that I'm at, and he is preparing for his panel tonight. So we're not going to have Greg's presence with us. But we can go ahead and get started. Zach, how are you doing? How's that, baby?
Doing good, not in San Diego, so that's,
Not in San Diego, and Jesse's also not in San Diego.
No.
But to make you jealous, I know it looks like I'm in a hostage video. That's what it looks like. But I want you to know what I'm looking at here.
Wow. Is that your hotel room?
Don't feel bad for me.
Is that your hotel?
I'm at the Marriott, in my room at the Marriott, but my wife is using the room for a counseling session, so I have to be on the venue. They upgraded me.
Is my wife her client? Is she talking to my wife in there?
No,
I'm
I
just
don't think so.
She should be. My wife is looking for a good one.
Well, my wife's the best at that.
I bet. She's married to you.
I have some news to share, guys. But let's hold off and just go through the cases one by one. Jesse, I want to start with the DV, round one of the DV 2026 litigation.
Okay.
And can you let us know where we are on that? Because we get lots of questions about that.
Are we already in the thing? Like, are people listening to us?
Yeah, they're live, man. We're on.
Oh, okay. I was just So DV. So briefing's complete. We submitted a joint appendix, which is required after the completion of briefing. We did that, I think, Monday. And we're waiting for a decision. And we're out there. I know there have been intermittent interviews granted abroad and in the United States. In the United States, USCIS has actually been a lot better with granting people interviews. But yeah, we're just going to wait for a decision here, and we're ready for it.
Well, I get all kinds of emails about this. First of all, they said, "Well, what did Jesse do? Did the judge ask for it?" I said, "No, it was the rule. We knew we had to do it. We submitted it, and of course, people want a copy of it, so we'll redact it and put it on the website."
Oh yeah, it's the record.
I think they're concerned because Judge Leon, I think it's Curtis's case is a week ahead of us, if I'm not mistaken, with Judge Leon, and he hasn't ruled on anything yet. But that's not unusual because he had to wait for the joint appendix to do that.
I mean, I think my take, just from doing some individual DV cases as well, is the judges know that September 30th is the deadline, and they probably are they know how many plaintiffs are in each case, and they probably just, they're busy, and they're probably coming back from September, and they have to write a decision that hopefully is not subject to appeal, because that would be a killer. And yeah, I don't expect a decision imminently. I don't. I expect a decision in time for them to enforce the order if it's favorable, but I'm not gonna wake up tomorrow and check my inbox and think there's a decision in there. I just don't see it. I think this is a hard case, sort of. I think the enforcement would be a lot harder than the actual legal aspects. I think the judge is going to have to think really hard about, how do I enforce it? How do I do status reports, updates, plaintiffs with interviews, plaintiffs who don't have interviews yet? How do we factor that in? Because there are a lot of embassies and consulates that are not operating, right? So, those are going to be our headaches to deal with, and I'm ready for it. But I think the judge has to think about that stuff as well. So, we're doing our best. We're handling what's in our control, and that's it.
All right. So on round two, we're going to be preparing and filing this next week. The last day to sign up on the DV 2026 litigation for round two is Friday. I'm going to get that complaint drafted this weekend, and we'll begin working on the plaintiff paragraphs. I've talked to John already, so we're going to be filing that early next week as we can. It will not be filed Monday because I'm in San Diego until Sunday. So, but we've got a good model to go with, and we do not know yet where we will file that. So I have to go through all the plaintiffs and see where we have a good number of plaintiffs that can justify filing that. It wouldn't surprise me if we end up in the Northern District of California, where we were 5 years ago. on a similar case, but we'll go from there. That's the status of the DB 2026 case. The next is the 75 country pause case. And I want to tell you, Jess, the government filed a response brief to our motion for summary judgment. And Jess, I went ahead and read that. It wasn't very good.
I mean, I don't want to. I mean, I like to talk about my team. I don't want to talk about their team. I mean,
well, I read Jesse's reply brief, which I'm sure he's getting ready to file shortly, and it's fantastic. And we'll put both those up on the website. Again, we don't know when the judge will rule on it. We hope sooner rather than later. But I would simply tell you, they don't have a defense to this. They don't.
Yeah, I think they're in a difficult spot. That case out in Massachusetts is really strong and does really set the ground rules for what can be done and what shouldn't be done. And no, I think we'll have success. I think we're ready. I was trying to file today and we had a little bit of an emergency and something else, so it will be filed. The other thing is we don't get any extra points for filing early. They're going to have one more bite at the apple here. So, no, I mean, it's a consistent theme where judges don't like the shutdowns of programs, and and this kind of 75 country thing is a way of them trying to shut it down. I mean,
well, the good news for them, you gave him a good reason to shut it down. The fact that it has no basis in law. I mean,
well, yeah, I mean, no, we're good. No, I think those cases are going to be coming at the government more and more on the public charge 75 country. Of course, that's part of our DV case as well. I think we're on good grounds there, and yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous. So
I will update you on the 75, the lawsuit on the visa revocation for the F1s. Basically, it's fully briefed on a motion to dismiss. There's not much we can do till the judge rules on that. And hopefully we'll get that soon. I just can't give you a time frame. I know we had a couple plaintiffs that were really desperate to travel, and I get it.
No.
But we can't force a federal judge to make a decision. You can't do that. And they don't want to be. Jesse made a good point. They don't want to be overturned on appeal, so they have to write a really solid, terrific decision, and that simply takes a little bit of time to do. I mean, I'll just go back to the DV case. Remember, the judge in the DV 2019-2020 case. That decision was like 130 pages long. Yeah. It doesn't pop out of your head overnight. So there is that.
I think the other thing too of these, judges are probably thinking that maybe some of these policies would be rescinded since they're losing, and I think judges are falling into the trap at believing that some of this is really temporary, and then they realize that it's not. And I will tell you, I think though the difference with the F1, not only F1 visa revocations, I mean, that's an important case, I think though, but when we start getting into, that's a 120, what is it, 1201I or whatever, and then we get into the 1182F. So those are statutory grounds where I think the government's cases, I mean, admittedly are stronger. I mean, we've been fighting, the entry bans in multiple cases, and you can see even the one that was granted in the state's case on the H-1B fee, it was stayed, and so the battle continues.
Let's talk about that. I'm going to talk about that just as an update because we're part of that case in California. Why hasn't the judge in California made a decision? Maybe he thinks the government will make it go away since only 80 people have paid the fee. In their stay request in Massachusetts or wherever it was, basically the government said, "Oh, woe is us if you don't stay this. All these horrible things are going to happen."
It's just so fucking stupid.
Which makes no sense. Only 80 people have paid the fee. So, but the judge in that case stayed it until the 18th.
I think they stayed it so that they could go up to the First Circuit.
Right, and I know they've already filed in the first, but. I just don't see them. I don't think the first is going to grant.
They probably have to go to SCOTUS, and I think the Supreme Court will probably stay it, which is why we need.
They may get 5 votes to say that it's SCOTUS.
Yeah, we need the DC Circuit, and we need the And I hope, honestly, my wish for 2026, besides world peace, is for them to take up the state's case or our case or the DC case, because I do think this is a tax. And we just learned what a tax is and what it's not. And I'd love to have it. I'd love to have a Supreme Court case that cuts against Trump v. Hawaii, because we know we're going to be living with 212F for at least 2 more years.
Right.
And we need some help, because we could also put in the visa issuance versus entry argument right before them in that. So yeah, no, the battle continues. I don't know, Judge Gilliam. I mean, I'm still on Team Gilliam. I don't know. I don't know what to do. He's a Massachusetts guy, by the way. But I don't know.
All right, let's take a look at the 39 country ban cases, the Georgia case. Now, I haven't even talked to Zach or Jesse since I got off the phone 15 minutes ago with the U.S. attorney in our case. And so it turns out that of course, so that you know, the U.S. attorneys don't make decisions on cases. It's their client, Department of State, Department of Labor, U.S. Immigration. They make the decision. Well, the decision maker on our Georgia case was apparently on vacation until today. So the U.S. attorney could not even speak to her until about 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, he realizes that he has a little problem. One, his response is due to our TRO, I think tomorrow or Friday. I forget which day. And of course, he wants more time, because his argument is, well, there is not a pause anymore. And I said, well, you know, they've appealed and they've asked for a stay in the First Circuit. He says, yeah, maybe they're going to snatch victory from the defeat from the jaws of victory. And so right now, what the situation is he's probably going to file a brief response to our TRO that will say, hey, Judge, there's no pause anymore. All these memos are gone. Therefore, there's no underlying basis for the lawsuit, except that it's not a final judgment, 1. 2, immigration has simply told the court in Rhode Island that, hey, we're working on implementing your order, not the implementing order. Now, I was told today that they are trying to adjudicate cases. And a problem they had, and this is just shocking that this was a problem, is they have to put everybody back where they were in the line. Now, maybe the U.S. attorney believes that.
What line?
I don't necessarily believe that there's an actual line. But supposedly, everybody will go back to where they were and be adjudicated accordingly. Now, of course, in our Georgia case, the remnants of our Georgia case, we have 12 people without employment cards that were authorization through visas that filed long before expiration. Long before.
Premium processing, too. We got some with premium processing.
Right, and premium processing. And those should be done immediately. They would not commit to do those cases.
Yeah.
So, you don't commit to do the cases.
I'm going to tell you where this litigation is going to go, and then Zach's going to tell me if I'm wrong. It's not enough, and I know judges have kind of wanted to get rid of these cases and declare victory. There's nothing more to do here, but the real problem is, unless we know that they have put everybody who was put on the shelf for 6 months back in and adjudicates them in a rule of reason, the people should still be filing. I mean, I'm not a big proponent of lawsuits, so I'm not going to say go file a case, but I think the injury is one that is still occurring, right? Because they can't just say, well, the hold is lifted. It's not the injury. That's like beating someone up and leaving them on the sidewalk and say the beating's over. You're still injured on the sidewalk, dude. We need to get you to a hospital and fix you and remedy the injury. The injury has already occurred. Now we're in the remedy phase. And if you don't take action for a lot of these people out of work, H-1B pending, STEM OPT, like they probably will have to go to court, and they will have to keep suing, because if you just say, well, there's no more hold, that's great, but that's not enough. It has to be hold and enforce or remedy. And I don't know what their plan is on appeal. I don't want to project, but they're not going to get anywhere in the First Circuit.
Well, they're not going to get a stay. And so the government is probably going to file a short response that says what I said they're going to say. We will then file an immediate reply as quickly as we can and ask for a hearing, because we need the remedy.
Here's like the The big ask, though, if anybody does have an adjudication, let us know immediately. I
Yes.
mean, we have a lot of plaintiffs among a lot of cases. Individually, we have plaintiffs in our own firms as well. I'm not seeing adjudications happen. So, they say,
There's some
I guess,
scuttlebutt about a
It's been
couple
3 days. And
there's a couple people I think, and whether I don't know if all of them are plaintiffs or not, but I think they are. I have seen, and I don't listen. I'm not on the up and up on technology, but somehow people can check if they touch their case or whatever. And I have multiple people telling me that they've seen a lot of touching of their cases. So
well, if any of our
apparently,
plaintiffs have seen that, please let us know. Okay, I
yeah.
really want to know. Now,
actually don't let us know that one because that one I get constant emails about, and I can tell you that somebody looking at it doesn't really mean much to us. What I want to know is if something happened on your case.
Yeah, for
That's what we
sure.
need for the reply. And yeah, I mean that's what I'm not seeing. That we were talking, I think, at the outset of this, when this pause is lifted, we should see, the floodgates open, a million decisions get issued. And it's been 3 days since USCIS acknowledged the pause, but it's been 2 weeks since the judge said it's vacated. So
yeah,
um, I'm not seeing the floodgates open, and that tells me that there's either that they were slow walking the cases while the pause was in effect, that's saying like, okay, we can't make a decision on this, so I'm not going to put all my time and energy into this. I'm going to focus on the folks that I can make a decision
Yeah.
for, or they're still, I don't know, just dragging their feet and they don't want to click the send button on your approval notice because they think maybe they're going to get the stay or they're going to want to see what happens on the appeal. So, and either way, that's problematic, and that's a thing that we want to bring to the judge's attention. In
I'm gonna tell
Georgia,
you.
in Maryland, in Colorado, wherever you're at, we want to know that.
I'm going to
all
tell
right.
you,
Let's.
I'm going to tell you, hold on for one sec because I don't want to say this because I don't know if the government watching, maybe they bug my house. The best thing that could ever happen is they take that appeal and they go forward with it in the First Circuit. Because I will tell you, discrimination based on national origin is just not going to play well in my neighborhood, and it's definitely I don't even think it's going to play well in the Supreme Court. And
I
if
don't
they
either.
take it there, if they take it there, that may be the best thing that we can have for the next 2 years, 3 years for people who are from countries that we want to, not treat the same way as we treat everybody else. I mean, it is such an egregious policy that has no basis, right? So it's just, I don't know. God bless them because they need help. They should just take the win and say there's no hold, and then the next thing we're going to fight about is whether the remedy is long enough or not. That would be the play. Taking an appeal, oh my goodness, who's driving the car there? Come on.
We
No
know.
judge is
The
pretty
NCIS
slow.
Joe is driving that. So, what about a Maryland case? Give us an update on the Maryland 39 ban case.
So we've got two. We've got PI in one of them in Raji. We've got the government response is what we're waiting for. They wanted an extension because of Dorcas. We opposed. They filed anyway, and the judge granted that within like a second.
Minutes,
So it's like
minutes, minutes.
we didn't have a chance to file something about our opposition. So that was real fun. But government opposition. At the same time, I do. I've talked to a lot of government attorneys about this while I've got my cases going, and they are all pretty clear that they are working with USCIS to try to figure out what they're doing about plaintiffs who are in these cases. And so even if we're not having like, direct talks with the government attorney about, plaintiff X or plaintiff Y, I do believe that they are working on trying to get people's cases moving, because the worst thing, if I was the government attorney, is going into a TRO hearing or PI hearing and being like, yeah, I know that there's all these people who are losing work, and I know the policy's vacated already, but don't worry about it, more or less. So I think that we'll start to hopefully, based off of the USCIS finally acknowledging the policy, start to see the imminent harm folks get adjudications. But anyways, yeah, Raji, waiting on government response. ELA is the other one. We've got the TRO filed, and we're waiting on the judge to schedule something there. It's been a long time. I have not entered my appearance on that case yet, so I don't think we have an attorney who's noticed her appearance either. But yeah, we're waiting. And I think the best we can do, unfortunately, with federal judges is just kind of poke them and say, hey, remember this is here. And so it's all we can really be doing. It's just say, remember, we got a TRO pending at this point. Sometimes judges take TROs and they say, I don't think this is urgent enough, and they treat them like PIs, and maybe that's what's happening here. But it's frustrating that we still don't have movement from the court after we put in the effort to get all this together to say, here are the folks with the most urgent harms. We need decisions immediately on all these applications. And then I guess the last one is Colorado, where we had the hearing on the 3rd, collecting declarations through last week, and then, hey, lo and behold, Dorcas comes out on the 5th. So last week we had a lot of movement. So I said, I've been getting emails left and right about this. I said we were going to file last week with the amendment with the declarations, but it would have been just a foolish move to have filed an amended complaint on Wednesday with the declarations, with the amount of movement that was happening with the Dorcas case going on. You know, we've got the government files something saying, hey, this is not a final policy. Plaintiffs are responding. And then Friday, the judge finally says, hey, no, this is actually a final decision. You got to comply with it. And then USCIS issues an alert, on the 12th. So, wanted to wait till we had some foundation for the lawsuit, I guess, kind of settled, and we've got that now. So, getting the Amati, the amendment all finalized and incorporating all of the developments that have happened with Dorcas, and we'll get that submitted ASAP here with the declarations as well. So, folks don't need to be worried about the judge making a decision before the declarations go in or anything like that. We're on it. Don't worry. I just don't want. I didn't want last week we file something and it'd be completely out of date by the time the judge is even looking at the case.
All right, as I said, we got a bunch of questions here. Good evening. Hope I'm the only one in San Diego, along with Greg. Zach and Jesse are smart and staying behind, and I'm not going to see anything other than this hotel. Literally, the airport, 15 minutes to the hotel, back to the airport on Saturday. Any update on Chikuma? We gave that update a few minutes ago.
No, wait, we didn't give the update on Chikuma. Chikuma, we are getting so the government asked for an extension on their response. We are bringing in a few extra kind of groups to make the kind of cohort a little bit broader, so agreed to that with the condition that we can bring in those additional parties, and so that's happening imminently.
Yeah, and the government attorney just reached out today in that case. So.
Yeah, it's not like we've been holding updates for you guys. Like that was 20 minutes before this call.
Yeah, literally 20 minutes before the call, the government attorney already reached out. The appendix, we will get that redacted and put onto the website hopefully this week, but John is here at conference as well, so she's kind of in charge of that, might not get that done. Are you guys winning any cases against 75 country plots? Jess, so you have a couple cases that you've prevailed on?
Yeah, I'm getting ready to win. I got a couple that are pending out in California, but they're dead. I mean,
we're going to win this one. We're going to win this one too.
I mean, we're going to win it at some point. Yeah, for sure. I think they need to walk that back. I don't know if they're getting to Marco or if Marco's cleaning up the pool in DC yet, but once he gets, done with that, he should probably rescind that policy. That's not going to be for long.
All right. How much time does the government get on a reply in YILA?
That is, they're beyond what the PI response time is. It's a weird situation. We got to poke the judge to say what's going on. This is a TRO, and they need to get something scheduled here.
All right. Some Chikuma planes have fiscal year deadline. Is it possible to request a PI or make it move faster?
Meaning that your DV, if you're diversity visa, I'm going to be perfectly frank. I don't know if we'll have relief by the end of the year for Chikuma cases because it is pretty distinct from the 75 country ban, and I don't think a PI is going to be successful in Chikuma. And then if you got the DV case, so anyways, I think that. Is it possible? Yes. We can talk about this kind of internally, and feel free to email me, and we can kind of chat about this one-on-one.
Is that an entry? If that's an entry ban plus DV, You're really fighting multiple battles there. I don't know which case is best for him, but I think that it's a really heavy lift to get. And the DV pause is probably going to be lifted, but those 212 entry bans, best you can get is you maybe get the visa and pray that the 212F goes away in 6 months or less, so you can actually use the visa. I mean, that would be the only way, but yeah.
There's limited situations we've seen where there's folks are exempted from the presidential proclamations.
Yeah,
That's
be a
pretty limited.
religious minority, I think something like that, and there's a couple others. So yeah, tough one.
So, I mean, anyways, email me about that if you want to chat about it in more detail, because I know there's not a lot of space for comments on YouTube. So just do the contact page and I'll respond to you.
So can the Massoud case lead to vacatur for everyone?
I would hope so, but I doubt it. No, because
just
we didn't ask for it.
We're asking for.
Yeah.
With regard to Dorcas, are you going to ask for deadlines, TROs for 39 country cases?
We have TROs just about every one of these. Now, the only one we don't is a PI. So yeah.
I think we got to be careful. I mean, there were at least two PIs, TROs that were denied in Massachusetts after Dorcas. So I mean, we have ours pending, and we should keep them there. But I don't know that Dorcas is the golden goose that everyone thinks it is. It's great. We love it, but I think judges are looking at it slightly differently.
What impact does the Dorcas ruling have in the Maryland pause litigation?
Pretty dramatic impact, as it changes the kind of groundwork of this entirely. But at the same time, it's like we were talking about earlier. We're not seeing USCIS actually implement the Dorcas ruling yet, so we need to see what actually happens there. And then the next battle, as Jesse was talking about, is getting you guys back in line where we want you to be in the first place.
I think the next value add for a lawyer is going to be getting people to agree to a schedule to make the plaintiffs whole. And that's where we probably have to start thinking about ways we can help everyone. Because if Dorcas is the law of the land, perhaps, then it's really going to be about status reports and getting our people adjudicated and getting the people who, I know everybody needs it yesterday, but especially people who are out of status or out of work, and then the 485s, which I think are going to be their own separate battle.
All right, when is the hearing scheduled in round 3 of the country ban litigation? Didn't we already have a hearing?
No, round 3 is no. Round 2 is Colorado. Raji is round 3.
Okay,
there's no hearing scheduled there yet. Different courts schedule hearings in different ways. So like if you were in California, for example, they make you just put a scheduled time on the calendar. You slot yourself in. Colorado, I had a call with the court and the government attorneys at the very outset of the case, and we got everything scheduled. Other times they say, we're going to wait until everything's briefed, and this is what happened in Georgia as well. Wait until everything's briefed, and see if we want a hearing, and then if we do, then we'll throw you on the calendar, and that's what Maryland's like here. So they will put us on the calendar if they want one. Otherwise, they'll make a decision just on the papers that we file.
All right, John 868H5D says there's zero chance you get U.S. adjudicator on a deadline. Should we withdraw from your lawsuit now before a PI if we want to file a mandamus?
Seems like he answered his own question.
But also it's not, because there's a lot of things you can do to force the decision, force USCIS to make a decision after the PI has been issued. Motions to enforce, motions for contempt, things like we talked about this. I feel like every live we do, we talk about this. USCIS has to comply with court orders, and this is not a mandamus case, so we're not requesting that you're expedited. But
you can file a mandamus now. You don't need to withdraw.
That's also true. I mean, you could also, do expedite requests. You could do premium processing. All those are available at this moment. But yeah, the fact that there's not a specific deadline requested in a PI or in a complaint doesn't mean that USCIS gets to just ignore it.
Yeah. I mean, also, like, where are you, right? Where do you live? Where's your benefit pending? What venue are you in? I
A
don't
lot of
know.
questions that need to be answered before you can answer that question.
Yeah.
Is it too early to give Judge Leon a nudge? Yes, because he should get the rest of the complaint.
I'm not giving that guy a nudge. That guy's freaking.
You want to piss him off? You give
He's
him
a
a
legend, dude. Yeah, a nudge for what? Like we've said this story before. They did 9,000 visas in August of 2020. Like they know how to get. If the judge wants it done, the judge will order it done. You got to keep in mind too, like. Judges have a lot of they're not immigration like focused. There's a lot on he's doing the ballroom case, he's got that to deal with. I mean,
probably 150 cases. I mean,
oh, absolutely. I mean, leave him alone. I think yeah, I think that your anxiety will probably go up and up and up until September 30th. But like the reality is we really did control our schedule and we've given the judge what he needs to make a decision if he wants to rule for us.
Nada is asking for some news on the EAD adjudication in Georgia. I already gave that update, so you can scroll back and see that earlier in the broadcast. Why hasn't the government filed a motion to stay in the Dorcas case? They have at the First Circuit.
They filed a motion to stay. I think they filed a notice of appeal, but I don't think they filed
They
a
also,
motion to stay.
today, the U.S. attorney confirmed to me an hour ago that in fact they have filed for stay in the First Circuit.
Wow, there we go.
I haven't
doesn't
focused.
expect they will get it. So
I haven't focused on this, but I mean, are they taking on the nationwide impact only, or are they like they can't be taking on the merits? I mean, oh my God. I mean, honestly,
So
who
my crystal ball has been that it's going to be the organizational standing is what they're going to be going after an appeal. But
maybe, yeah, I think the nationwide, vacature but Kavanaugh kind of already hinted that like that was okay under the APA. I don't know. Yeah, all right, good luck. Yeah.
this is was wondering how you negotiated immediate relief in the third round of the 39 country case. Was release requested for everybody or only for those expiring status?
so if you're talking about for
This is the third round. This would be
third round, sorry. So there's folks who have the immediates, like I am out of work right now, or I'm going to be out of work immediately. Those are the people where we're like, hey, will you just adjudicate these cases? And then we've got the PI moving forward for everybody else. But there's kind of a multiple levels of urgency, and I got an email last night saying that there's kind of a conspiracy theory that we're like only focusing on people who have immediate urgent relief, and then we're going to just throw everybody else to the wayside.
did you get that email too? I got that email too.
Yeah.
Why
So
didn't you get that email?
I don't know where that came from. Yeah,
It's
we're apparently not. We don't care about anybody who doesn't have immediate harms. That's not true.
That's true.
We're definitely pushing we're pushing to get the folks who are out of status and who have lack of work authorization, get them back to work. But that doesn't mean we're ignoring everybody else and we're going to just say, oh well, okay.
I will tell you.
Expires in 5 months.
I will tell you too. I think the problem with shutting stuff down for 39 countries for 6 months is that you're going to cause a problem, a capacity problem, and we're going to have to dig ourselves out of this together. And I would hope USCIS wants to join us in that, but it's not going to be the lawyer's fault, because you have to understand there's now a 100-car pileup on the highway of people that they've ignored for 7 months, and that's not our fault. That's their fault. And we're going to do our best to dig out, but it's a monumental dig because they created an absolute mess.
Absolute mess. I already updated Agile Boy. I updated the government's the coverage I had. Physician EADs. Anita is talking about the Georgia case. Again, I brought that up, that these are several positions that we have. We need the EADs. Yeah. The government lawyer is very sympathetic, but he is not their client.
Yeah, they really need to do their job on those. So, fucking bastards.
Okay. Any news? Oh, this is an administratively closed case. That's not a thing. That's something we're litigating. All I can tell you is they're still reopening cases. What's the update on discussion with opposing counts for immediate relief? I assume you're talking about Georgia, and I already gave that update.
Yeah.
Government keeps saying your case is processing normal, even not acknowledging. Are they now using this ruling in their lawsuits too? Okay,
Well,
I think it's a
I think
seasonal.
they're probably saying like, I don't know that we know what normal is. Like normal to them or normal to you or normal to me. Normal to them is doing nothing. Normal to me would be processing within the historical time bands. And normal to you is probably yesterday.
Yeah, but not for them. Somebody
And
asked why the government.
the case status screens only have so many things that they can say. So when they put you back to your case is processing normal, that's just they can't like customize the thing saying because of Dorcas we've unpaused your case and all that kind of stuff.
Government
Yeah.
lawyers now entering their appearance. I understand the 30 country ban has been removed, but no movement has been seen. Any updates for physicians? None. We've seen. We are aware of the July 1 deadline for many physicians,
Yeah.
and as I assume is according to Dorcas is, because I know we talked about it there. But all I can tell you is we will continue our communications with the government as much as we possibly can.
Yeah.
And Yila, any way to ask the judge to request a status update?
And it's not really requesting a status update from USCIS. It's more like, hey, can you schedule a hearing on this more than anything?
Okay, Lockman needs us to require results after the Dorcas case. We need adjudication, and that's it.
Yes, I agree with that.
Yeah.
They're not
okay.
waiting they're not waiting in a, I love these. Hold on. I gotta read this. Can I read the last part?
Yeah.
We're not waiting in a dark room with no updates. I would open up the shades, get into the light, get some sun, and we won't give you any updates.
We're not going to give you updates when we have no updates. I mean, we will tell you as soon as we know anything, just like we did today, literally within 15 minutes of talking to the U.S. attorney. So,
But don't sit in a dark room though. Like, what are you doing that for?
go outside.
That makes no sense.
When he says there's no pause anymore, you may ask him a status report for the Georgia Cohen. Trust me, we had that conversation. Maybe you think that I'm stupid and that I don't anticipate these questions. Maybe you're right.
I think the reality is this: if you have a hold for 7 months and you have a judge vacate it on a Friday and it's Wednesday, and you have how many cases do you think were on pause? I mean, seriously, this is a serious question. Like, let's answer a real question. How many EADs do you think are sitting there from these 39 countries? 100,000, 200,000?
I think it's several 100,000 cases.
I think it is too. And I think that, yes, it's a 2-minute time like requirement, but somebody has to go in there and physically do it, I think. Right? An officer has to do it. So that I don't think this is going to be an easy fix. I mean, I hate to say that. I hate to say that, but
I will tell you that we did, in fact, ask for a very specific deadline in the most recent Georgia case in our TRO. We asked for all cases to be done in 72 hours from the order. So we did ask for very specific deadlines. Let's see. Expected timeline for the revocation. I can't give you a timeline.
Yeah, that's a really hard case.
The case is submitted. They don't exist.
That's a super hard case too, and that's a real disaster what happened in those F1s. But like that's like our case up there on the visa ban for the Iranian students. Like that is such a hard case,
right?
To explain to the judge. I mean, you have to understand these judges read everything. And it just takes time. It's just unfortunate, but it does.
This is a really good question. What do you mean? Explain what about being put back in the line means.
Yeah.
That's a really good question because this is what I think the judge in Dorcas wants to have happen. I think every other judge wants it to have happen. So if you were number 33 and they've already done 34 through 40, you should be at the front of the line.
For sure.
That's what that means.
Yeah, for sure. They should do it by, I mean, some people it should be priority date, some people it should be receipt date or received date. I don't know that they have a way to do it though. Right. Remember, like in DV, they were going to redo their whole software to figure out who was going to get visas because there were too many people than there were visas available, right? So like they were like, oh, we have to spend $2 million getting our software. I mean, how do they put the line back together, right? How do they put Humpty Dumpty back together?
So you don't see any adjudication. Why don't you push the judge? I tell
Yeah,
you what,
you jerk.
Baba BW8, why don't you call the judge and see what
No,
happens
don't do
when
that.
the server shows up at your house?
Do not do that. I had a client the other day who emailed the U.S. attorney, and I was like, "Oh my God, you cannot do that. Don't do that."
Okay,
Um,
you just got
I
to.
didn't.
This is litigation. This is not magic.
I
Litigation
think.
is
Look,
patience.
I mean, it's like I said, it's Wednesday after they finally let the gate open a little bit. I think you're right to be frustrated, but yeah, I mean, we're not in control
That's a
right
good
now.
question. How can the U.S. be held accountable? This is the problem when the government does stuff like this.
Yeah.
Holding them accountable is almost impossible. Nobody's going to jail. Nobody's getting fined.
Not yet.
Nobody's losing their job. Okay,
No.
you are paying the price for their incompetence, for their
Well,
intentional delay.
I've had
That's
a number. I've had a number of consults, and I'm just going to say it because I think it's not. We're not really looking at the elephant in the room. The reality is they want less people here. I'm not so sure they want me here. So they're not going to change course. They're going to try a way to delay everybody, including those from countries that they really don't like. So they're trying to really break the system and destroy people and remove people. So I don't know that accountability is a 2026 thing. I think survival and persistence is a 26, 27, 28 thing. But like we need to understand what the goal plan, what the plan is from the government, unfortunately, right now. And it's like survival. It's not accountability yet. That's a different phase of the cycle.
hopefully that's in 2029. This is a really good question. I mean, could they just go to SCOTUS and get a stay? No, they always have to follow the rules. So they have to go to
Yeah.
the circuit first. I don't think SCOTUS gives a stay in the pause cases. I don't.
I think they do.
In the pause cases,
I
don't
think because of the nationwide thing, I think they'll think that's something they really have to look at closely. I think they will. And then it is going to be the district court judges are going to say, oh, okay. And there's going to be a flurry of orders. And it may not be the worst thing in the world because now district court judges are saying there's no work to be, we don't have to do anything. Dorcas is the law of the land. Our job's done. But I think that's why if they go to SCOTUS and get that stay, district court judges are going to have to get the message, and they will. Oh, all right, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, 7 days, and they're going to have to order USAS. So USAS better be careful what they wish for.
Yeah, I agree. And this is true. This is David Cook has got to get right. They want a slow walk. Okay. Are you able to have a group mandamus case? Group mandamus is, I got to tell you, not necessarily a good idea. Because mandamus is a very specific act, which looks very specifically at how long cases have been pending, how long cases take to adjudicate. There's no good place in the country to file a group mandamus. Those are really individual cases.
You gotta also think about like, I mean, if you don't have the hold policy, you gotta think about like if it's discretionary relief. An EAD is discretionary, a 485 is discretionary, and H-1B is not. They have a duty there. But if it's discretionary, your risk of getting dismissed is not zero. It is high, and judges will say, I have no authority to push anybody on a discretionary deadline. Sorry. That's why the policy is the hook.
You're the 11th Circuit, you're not going to get that on a discretionary deadline. So somebody wants to know when the hearing is scheduled in round 3 of country ban. It's not scheduled. We'll let you know when it is, though.
It may never be scheduled.
It might never be. It never be a hearing. Not every case gets a hearing. Can you ask for a status report? So here's, again, I'll go back to the Georgia case. The government's going to file a response to the TRO. We will then file a reply. And in our reply, we will ask the judge to simply order the approval of these cases. There's no pause. We've already waited long enough. The remedy is to issue the visa, issue the EADs. So we will be doing that.
Yeah.
All right. Hopefully this won't happen. If it does, the judge rules against us and a second lawsuit is filed. Would you consider filing the lawsuit in a different state? We will not be filing DV round 2 in DC.
You can't. I mean, where are you going to file? I mean, you have to have an adjustment candidate there. But no. I'll tell you a quick story on DV. I had a guy yesterday, he had his DV adjustment interview, and the officer was like super nice. They usually are really nice. They want to approve. That's why they took the job. And he's like, yeah, I'm just gonna have a right here. And he's like, if it ever gets rescinded, I'll rule for you. I mean, he didn't know that we have a litigation ongoing for that family, but I think, a lot of the officers are scheduling these interviews and even abroad. I think they really do want to issue these visas. DV visas are not hated as like what the government is looking for. So
Only certain people hate them.
yeah,
Uh,
so I think they could have a lot of adjudication ready cases. That's I guess what I'm trying to say.
do you know the deadline for the government to respond in the Raji, Maryland case?
No, it was like 2 weeks from last week, so maybe I think probably next week.
Next week, probably next Friday. Did all of us submit second declaration in Colorado? How bad is it if we forgot?
Not
You
everybody
forgot
did.
the most important thing in your life?
Send it to me immediately. Like truly, like immediately send it to
Tonight,
me.
now.
It is a big deal, so send it to me. Like now.
OPT application, should we do premium processing? I mean, there's a 15-day rule if you pay the premium processing. I would do it. There's no current pause.
Yeah.
So if they claim there's no pause, why are they still fighting? Well, their position is that there is no fight. There's no fight. There's no case. That's going to be their position. There's no case. You're arguing about something that doesn't exist. The pause doesn't exist. What are you fighting about?
Two judges bought it. Two judges bought that argument.
Yeah,
I mean,
well, that may be the case. We'll see if Judge buys it there. You guys heard about any benefits approvals not related to any lawsuit since the pause was lifted in Dorcas? None. I mean, I'm on a lot of listservs. I'm on a lot of listservs.
I mean, I only do litigation, so I'm not going to hear that.
No, I'm on a lot. I'm here at the conference talking immigration. There's nobody. Let's see. As a plaintiff in the Masood case, should we redo our medicals and upload new financials? I saw that we requested that the medical be extended. No, you should not do new medicals. You should not upload new financials.
No.
Embassy's closed to the war. Yeah. What war? I thought the war is over. Wait, there never was a war. It was settled 40 times.
That's going to be a big problem.
Yeah. We'll see. If anyone gets invited to interview and wishes to engage you guys in immigration to be present, how do you arrange for those in LA and Fresno? I would refer to a couple of colleagues of ours in Los Angeles and Fresno that we trust. We know great lawyers all around the United States that can attend with you, that we trust to go with you.
Go with an attorney.
Who isn't
good idea.
A real good attorney.
Yeah.
What is your assessment that the likelihood the 100,000 survives through 2026? Remember, the fee ends in September. It's only good for this fiscal year, so it may be over in September.
Yeah, I think it's probably 60-40 our way, but the 40% is pretty substantial.
They might renew it.
It's a really, really hard case.
Is it fake to filing? So basically, I will tell you this: I had two colleagues on emails today in a listserv say they filed an H-1B electronically that would have needed the fee, and it was accepted without the fee today. So Stephen Miller, otherwise known as Gollum, took the 39-country ban of Supreme Court. He tweeted about it. He's
still waiting to go to law school. He is a BA from Duke, which means a lot less to me now than it used to.
Wow, that used to, right? I mean, so
yeah. So he may think he's in the Supreme Court,
and he's not a lawyer, by the way.
He's in the Supreme Court of hell, is what he is, because he hates himself. So that's enough with him.
OPT people, in my opinion, should do premium processing right now. Okay. Let's see. Confidential. We have talked about nothing confidential in our cases. Nothing. Nobody's individual cases have been discussed. So
I don't even know who people are talking about. I mean, what person have we talked about?
Sorry, there's a helicopter flying into the. Let me mute myself.
But the First Circuit, is it a given Justice Jackson? No. No, no, but she doesn't have total control of that stay docket.
Sorry about that.
I think the question was, how does like Justice Jackson, because she's the
She's
First
the
Circuit.
whole court. Well,
No.
she kind of has to. I mean, that's
Yeah,
just,
I mean, she can't hide it.
like hide it. Oh, I don't
That's
remember seeing that one. Sorry, Justice.
She's also the rookie, so yeah.
Okay. If there's a stay in the Dorcas case, then our cases continue. There's no final decision.
I actually don't think that's the worst thing that
You
could
don't think
happen.
so?
I know, I don't think it's the worst thing that can happen, is what I'm saying.
No, I don't think it's the worst thing that can happen.
I think Dorcas is actually being used by judges to act as a shield or to slow down cases. Yeah, I mean,
if it's stayed, it doesn't hurt us. Is it possible for a family case in mandamus? Yeah. I mean, if you're a family beneficiary of a case,
but it depends. Like, what do you?
Depends on how long it's been pending.
And the I-130 is mandatory, so you can definitely get the I-130. But if it's a 45, you can include it, but you got to be careful. I think you have good grounds to get the I-130 approved, and it will. And then it's a fight over, if they try to bifurcate, like if they try to divide the I-130 and 45, which is wrong, they never do that, but they'll try. You really have to convince the judge that they're discriminating against your family.
David Cookie, I know that we filed a PI. I mean, that's for this specific reason, or TL for this specific reason. So we'll see what they say.
Provide information directly to the government counsel. Also, we didn't just file the PI. We also said, hey, here's a bunch of people. So it's not
yeah.
So somebody said, Cook said in the library he will ask for hearing in Masood. I think I said I would ask for hearing if we think we need one. All right,
I don't think we asked not to have it. It's just that, I mean, have it or not have it. I mean,
so if we need one, we'll get one. If not, and the judges can say no as well. Okay. All right. Let's see. People are really focused on the Yilla case and the government lawyer. There is a government lawyer. We exchanged emails with them today.
One of the things is that if you're a lawyer on the other side, you're not necessarily going to just enter your appearance if you don't have anything to do. It's pretty common that they'll enter their appearance and then file something. So if you don't have an immediate filing to make, you'll be assigned to the case, but you won't be entering your appearance on Pacer.
So when nothing appears on Pacer, how do you say they filed stay in Dorcas? Because the government lawyer told me it. That's how I know.
Yeah.
Let's see. Do I recommend a mandamus on the 765? Well, I'd wait a couple days until we can get some resolution on the TRO. But you're welcome to file mandamus whenever you want to.
Yeah, I just think that it's so stupid. I mean, I don't understand that idea though. Like, I don't understand the second case idea.
It takes It takes at least 60 days to get a response in a mandamus.
I just don't get. I find it hard to believe that someone would be like, I'm in this case, I'm going to hire another guy, or I'm going to do it. If you do a pro se, you might as well, have an EAD and just cut it up in a bunch of pieces, because that's ridiculous. Don't do that.
This is for you, Zach. How long should the declaration be? 3 or 4 sentences? Your introduction should be 3 or 4 sentences.
We sent out an email.
Send you a sample.
It had a template. It had a lot of bullet points of things to consider. Please give me a detailed statement. This is important for you. Like, this is really, really important for you. So take the time.
Yeah, if you don't have it, it has to be a little bit longer than that. Yeah, sign it. Make sure you sign it. Make sure you read it.
In the worst case scenario, it would be considered selfish to ask Judge Leon to at least order the issuance of visas. Look, yes, 1, selfish. 2, it's not going to happen.
At the worst case scenario would be that he says that they can pause DV and end it for this year. So I don't think that he would ever do something kind of separately.
All right. Let's see. For an H-1B candidate outside the U.S. and receive a job offer, what should employers reasonably assume about the 130 days? Well, unless there's a stay, there's no 100. Well, there's a stay. There's a stay in place. So that's what you should assume. There's a stay in place. Till it's lifted, there's a stay.
I would just wait. I mean, again, I would probably, if you have a 10-1 start date, why wouldn't you just chill for a sec, right? Or is this
Well, the
cap
problem is
Sunday?
if you were selected in the lottery, you have to apply by June 30th.
Oh no, he's saying file the I mean file the petition, get the RFE, right? I mean,
Yeah. Well, unless they just reject it outright for no fee. But I did told you that 2 people filed it today electronically and got a receipt notice. Next step in the ILLA case, anyone from your team going to reach out to the judge? Nobody reaches out to a judge. Okay. There is timelines in cases.
yeah.
Period.
I don't know what we would do there.
Zach, you mentioned that the updated declaration for the Cotto case will be filed by last Thursday. Yet Zach already talked about this and why they weren't, for a very good reason.
So just to reiterate for anybody who didn't join, like Dorcas happened. There was a lot moving on, like what was happening with like the foundation of our case. So if I filed the amended complaint on Wednesday, let's say, and the government had just filed a thing saying, "Hey, we don't think that the court's order in Dorcas is valid," and then that's our complaint. That's what our case is based off of. So
It's
I
probably
didn't want to file something before we have the foundation of our case like a little bit settled. So we're at that point now.
I think it's an important time. We got 3 minutes left to talk about the life cycle of a litigation client, because I say it all the time. It starts off, you're the only one who can help me. How much does it cost? They love you. They sign. You do what you're told. Then they hate you until you win. And then they never talk to you again. And we're in the I hate you phase. And we just have to embrace it. And you embrace it out there in the audience, because we know what phase we're in. And then when we get you the benefit, you're going to say, "Thank you, I'll never talk to you again." And that's just where it goes. So, I mean, we get it.
Iman wants us to send a confirmation if we received his declaration for the Cotto case. I will answer. Zach is not sending confirmations. If you send it in, we got it. If it was electronic, it didn't magically disappear in the ethosphere. We have no capability to spend time sending all those emails saying, "Hey, we got your stuff." Sorry, that's not going to happen.
I will never file anything if I have to do that. I'm sorry.
All right.
Excuse me.
And we did answer your question, Ahmed, and we told you not to file medicals, not to do medicals, and don't put new financials. And of course, we have one hater in the audience. He wants us to be like Curtis, buddy. What are you talking about? There's no stay filed. Stop lying to these people. Thank you, M. Chitman, 1166. You have no idea what you're talking about.
Maybe take some notes.
Not a problem. And Britt Simon, who we love, is in the hate you face. That's it for today, everybody. Great talking to you. We'll be live next Wednesday. Same bat time, same bat channel. Hopefully, we'll have some more news for them. If there is breaking news on any of the individual cases, we will reach out to you by email before then. And again, please send all communications through the website because it's how we track how people communicate with us. It's much easier for us to do that way rather than direct emails. Y'all have a great week. We'll see you next Wednesday.
Bye, Chuck.
Bye-bye.
Zach.